everyone! As 2013 comes to a close, I, like most booktubers, am already thinking about what I plan to read next year in 2014. And I've come up with a small list of 5 books that I definitely want to get to reading next year. Essentially, this is the list of 5 books that I really should have read this year, so I definitely have to read them next year because I can't let it go another year without having read these 5 books. Some of these books you would have seen me talk about before, and I want to say that I do plan on reading them in the earlier part of the year just to get them kind of out of the way so that I can move on to other books as I hear about them and kind of get a chance to read hopefully more new releases next year. Hopefully if I can get a little bit caught up on some of the books that I previously wanted to read. So the first book I want to talk about is a very famous classic, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I feel like the only person in the world who has not read this book. It's perhaps one of the most beloved and widely read classic books, and I just feel like everyone loves this one. Everyone adores Pride and Prejudice. And I admit I'm a little nervous that I won't love it as much as everyone else. I tend to really enjoy classics like Fahrenheit 451 and Catcher in the Rye, and I've never read anything kind of from this time period, so I'm a little bit nervous I won't love it as much as everyone else, but I just have to read it. It's Pride and Prejudice. I even bought myself a copy to make sure that I read it, and so I would have no excuse not to pick it up. I even promised I would read it before Christmas, and well, that didn't happen. So for sure, next year I'm going to read this one. Now the next book that I need to read in 2014 is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Now she's most famous for Gone Girl, and also she has written Sharp Objects. Now in case you just don't know about Gillian Flynn, she tends to be a mystery thriller writer who writes about very dark characters, and particularly writes about female characters, which don't often play very large roles in the mystery thriller world. And I love her work. I tend to think of her as one of my favorite authors. However, of the 3 books she's written, I've only actually read 2 of them, so I really need to read Dark Places. I've heard fantastic things about it. A lot of people say it's their favorite, and if I'm going to consider her one of my favorite authors, I really need to read her collection of works. So definitely need to read that one. I don't know why I haven't. I've been so excited to read it for so long, and yeah, no excuses. I'm doing it next year. Third book I want to talk about, I feel like I've talked about 100 times on this booktube channel already, and that is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Like I said, I feel like I'm always talking about this one. I want to read all 3 of his books, but everyone says to start with this one. I now own it. No excuses, I'm doing it. I think this book is like over 10 years old now, and everyone loves it, so I just need to read it because I feel horribly behind in reading important pieces of literature that have come out in recent years. Now the next book that I want to read, I got so much great feedback when I hauled this in my last book haul video, and that was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Everyone who has read this book told me it was fantastic, told me to read it, and just got me really excited about this one. However, I kind of already knew what I was going to read to the end of the year, and I don't want to put it off too long because I'm still really excited about it. It's always good when you hear good things about a book that you want to read, and it makes you more excited to read it. And I want to read it sooner before that excitement around the book goes away from me. So hopefully get to this one really soon. I definitely think I'm going to enjoy this one. Now the last book that I want to read, I don't have a copy of, and that is Margaret Atwood's Oryx and Crake. And that is the first book in her speculative fiction trilogy, I believe, and it's somewhat set in a dystopian world. I believe that's the one I want to read next of hers. I really enjoyed Handmaid's Tale as well as The Edible Woman, and I feel like she's an author who I could really enjoy and just might love everything I read by her, but I need to read another book by her, and I don't know why I didn't this year. So I'm thinking Oryx and Crake right now. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but let me know if you think I should go another way. I've heard good things about Alias Grace and Cat's Eye and what's the other one, Blind Assassin, and I keep changing my mind which I'm going to read next. So that last book, I am okay if I end up reading something else by Margaret Atwood that isn't that one. I don't mind if I kind of swap that one in and out, but for sure I'm going to read a book by Margaret Atwood. Well, that's about it. Definitely let me know, what are you reading next year? Are you already kind of thinking about the books that you want to read? I know for me, I have a ton of books that I want to read that I didn't include in this video, but I'm definitely going to try to sneak in next year. These are just books that I just needed to read for so long, and I'm really excited to, and I'm hopefully going to knock these out in the next couple months, hoping to that. If I'm not, say, wait, what are you doing? Because I need to do that. Hope everyone is having really good holidays. I'll be back with another video. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.